我上节学堂初级学那么了，全球巴多当年接送节，大概因素级别算那么节，着了平时的上节着不了一学上节学堂初级学那么了，全球巴多当年接送节，大概因素级别算那么节，着了平时的上节着不了一学上节学堂初级学那么了。chancho parto dane chapso che dage jinso jibe sanam je dola pinchara sanje do bara isho simje thamje dewa dan deve judan dembara churche donghala dan donghala je judan tabara churche donghala mebe dewa thamba dan mendawa churche nyere chadan nidan trabe danyam chenpo la nebara churo je kanke tenchen dechi nye kechi nye la chiro lama renchen tawa kando je jen shepe lwanda sanje kando lama rambo je techen chochi jala sawanda nyame karin chenchi toje sin dechi parto kando chenchi laba. Okay, so well, good evening everybody. Okay. Then, so now we reach suffering of suffering, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Suffering of suffering. On seeing that lower realms are suffused with the suffering. Now we commence with the actual teaching on the teaching on the three visions. The instruction on the first, which is the impure vision, is taught in the three part. So now when we begin now, so this is like the actual. Of course, the teaching is already started from the beginning, but in here it means like actual teaching is like that actual direct talking about the triple vision now, triple vision. So when we are talking about the triple vision, then there is three vision, yeah. It's like impure vision, then impure vision, then the that experience vision, nyamjit nawa, then taben nawa, pure vision. So like these are the three that main topic with this teaching, triple vision. Then when we are talking about the triple vision at the very beginning, so we start with this impure vision. Okay. Instruction on the fault of worldly existence, samsara, in order to produce renunciation. So there is a now, so that impure vision, which will be taught in a three part, yeah, three part. So at the beginning part, so in order to produce, yeah, renunciation, because like because I think it's important to understand the word that like renunciation, yeah. Because when we are saying the renunciation in the Tibetan, it's ninjung, ngeparinjungwa. Means ngeparinjungwa means like renunciation means like it's more like striving for like seeking for freedom. Because if you are renunciation from something, that you are seeking freedom from that particular person or object or that place. So that is actually the meaning of renunciation. It's more or less like a fed up. So you are fed up with that person or that place or that object, then now you want to be free from that. So this is the actual meaning of renunciation. Then, when we practice this renunciation, as I have already mentioned earlier, like a different vehicle, so they do practice differently. But in here, so it's like more like generally. So it is talking here, instruction on the fault of worldly existence. So in order to produce that renunciation, one must identify, one must know the fault of that object or that place. Otherwise, then you will not feel like that you will not, how to say, you will not seek like freedom from that object or that person or that place. Yeah. Due to that, so instruction on fault of worldly existence means like fault of samsara. So instruction on the difficulty of obtaining the prerequisite in order to evoke diligence, and instruction on the virtuous and non-virtuous deed, and their result in order to know what is to be accepted and what is to be rejected. So in here, so it has mentioned three parts. Yeah. So the first part is instruction on the fault of the samsara, which will produce a renunciation. Then the second part is like instruction on the difficulty to obtain this, like obtain the prerequisite, means like this precious human body, so which means that like a precious human body. So if you once you know how difficult it is to obtain this precious human body, then you will not waste it, isn't it? Because once you know the value of it is similar, once you know of value of anything, then you don't want to waste it. Yeah. If you know, so this is worth so much, so expensive, then like for example, if you like a biscuit, or if it is gold or something, then if you know it's like very expensive, very worthy, then you don't want to misplace. You want to take care of it very well, and you want to use it very carefully, isn't it? Similar like that. So once you know how difficult it is to obtain this human precious body, then you don't want to waste it. Wasting for like a very a useless thing. Yeah. So like for example, if you exchange 1 kilo of the gold for for the cup of tea, of course you will not exchange it. Yeah. So you will not use that 1 kilo of gold to buy just one cup of tea. You will not use it. Yeah. It is similar like that. Once you know the value of this human precious body, so which is so how to say, you cannot measure how much it worth, yeah, because it's worthless. Due to that, so if you this such a precious that how to say, so precious, if you use for something which is like a very less meaning, so then so it's like a then it's like a very big mistake, yeah, lost, that you are in a deep lost, yeah. Due to that, so it is important to know uh, difficulty to obtain this human precious body. Yeah, so once you know that this precious human body is so difficult and so precious, then you will not waste single time of this our precious human life, then you will have it will evoke the diligence. Yeah? Then the third part is instruction on virtuous or non-virtuous deed. So if you know like what is virtuous and what is not non-virtuous, then you will not accept the non-virtuous, and you will not reject the virtuous deed. Yeah, due to that. So this is the like three part of teaching with the impure vision. Then among that, like three part, the first is the instruction that explain. Can you show the text? First is the instruction that explains the fault of worldly existence. In the Mahasiddha Virupa's root text, the Vajra verses, it is stated, for sentient beings with the defilement is the impure vision. So this is the actual that root text statement from that Vajra verses, which is composed by the Mahasiddha Virupa. So all the Lamde teaching is based on this that Dojesica Vajra verses teaching from the Mahasiddha Virupa. Yeah? So when we are talking about this impure vision, so with only this short statement that which just now said that like Simjin la new mompa la matape nawas. It's like Simjin la is like for the sentient being, and then for sentient being, defilement has an impure vision. So it has like a very short statement, but the meaning is so deep. So all this like impure vision teaching that which we will talk, and so it is included within this very short statement. Then when we are saying in here, sentient law is like a sentient being. So it is not all sentient being. It's mainly refer to the mundane, worldly sentient being, like us, worldly sentient being. Because the sentient being, those who have impure vision because of the defilement. So it is saying, yeah. This short statement is saying those sentient beings who has defilement, they have impure vision. The nature of samsara is nothing but suffering, which nobody wants. Yeah. So this is like when in here, when it is saying nature of samsara is nothing but suffering. So it is like usually that we are talking about the two truth, yeah, two truth, relative truth and ultimate truth. When we are talking of two truth, on the relative level, when we are saying the nature of samsara is suffering, when we are saying nature of samsara is suffering, it is on a relative level. We are not talking about the ultimate level. It's on a relative level, all this like samsara is a nature of this samsara, it's a suffering. Likewise, like when we are saying that nature of water is wet, nature of fire is hot. So all this kind of the nature that we are talking is on a relative level, yeah. It is not a ultimate level with the examination. We are not, so we don't need to examine that like whether fire is hot or not. Yeah? So we know like it is hot, fire is hot, yeah. And then we don't need to examine that water is wet or not. Yeah. So this is all about when we are talking about relative level, then the nature of samsara is suffering. And of course, like nobody wants the suffering, yeah. So everybody, but that we all think that we don't want suffering, but like when it comes to the practice, when it comes to the real practice, reality, then we do everything opposite. Yeah, we don't want suffering, but like what we do is like a totally opposite than what we want. Okay. Everybody naturally wants to be free from it, but if you wish to be free from suffering, you need to renounce attachment to worldly existence. So this statement is also very important, yeah, because very important, this one, because when we are talking about like we don't want the suffering, but we are not letting go suffering also, isn't it? We don't want suffering, but if you don't want it, you have to throw it away, isn't it? So if you're keeping it and if you say, I don't want it, then it doesn't really make sense, yeah? Like a similar, like if a fireball, like if fireball is burning your hand, if it is burning your hand, you don't want to burn your hand, then you have to throw it away, yeah? If you keep holding it and then you are saying like, I don't want to burn my hand, I don't want to burn my hand, so which is not possible. It is saying in here, because when we want to free from the suffering, then like we have to reject and that cause of suffering, which is making you suffering. Yeah? Otherwise, like if you are holding that cause of suffering and then keep shouting that that I am suffering, I don't want to be suffering, then so which is like not logical. So this is what it is saying here, because when we are saying attachment, the word usually in a Tibetan, that word that we call decha. So it is more like if we translate that Tibetan word decha directly, I think it's more like desire. You desire, and then I think then when it is translating as an attachment, is the meaning is the correct. This is what I found, yeah, because the meaning of the nurture, it means like you are binding it, isn't it? If you are like, if you have an attachment, if you have a desire, if you are keep like a desire for something, so mentally you are binding your mind with that object. It is not only an object, even the person also, and also the place, anything. So once you have attachment towards that object, person, or whatsoever, you are binding with it. Once you are binding with it, you are not free from it, isn't it? So that is why I'm saying that attachment word is a, if you translate it as an attachment, that English word, that meaning is more appropriate for me, for my thinking, because Because when we are saying attach, it's like, so you are stick with it. Yeah? It is together, you are attached with it. So it is not separate. You are not free from it. So this is what I mean to say. It's like when you have attachment towards the samsara, then you are not free from samsara. Any kind of the object. Then any kind of as I mentioned, any kind of the object in samsara, so it will produce suffering sooner or later. That is why we are saying, like, if you want to free from suffering, one must abandon attachment towards all the samsaric things. Okay, can you? You wish to free from suffering, you need to renounce attachment to worldly existing. Yeah, renounce. Yeah, so that we have to renounce means like you have to seeking to free from that mundane worldly existence. And in order to do that, in order to do free from that worldly existence, then one must abandon attachment. Yeah. Otherwise, it is not possible. You tie yourself with a worldly existence, and then you are saying I want to free from it. So which is not possible. Yeah. So it is simply saying that. Yeah. And in order to reflect on the false, you need to rely on the teacher's instruction. Yes, so I think this is one thing that for the beginning, I think one must even though sometime the things are right in front of you, you will not see it. Yeah, you will not see it. It's all this kind of the worldly things that which is in front of you only. You are in that situation, but you don't see it. Yeah. So in order to see it, then one must rely on the instruction from the Buddha or masters. The first teaching that Lord Buddha gave is the Four Noble Truths. Significantly, the first truth is the truth of suffering, that he said you must comprehend. He said that you must comprehend. There is because you will not make any concerted effort to be free from suffering if you do not realize the truth of suffering. Just as you cannot receive treatment if the nature of sickness has not been diagnosed, therefore it is necessary at the outset to realize that anywhere in samsara, from the highest heavenly realm to the lowest hell realm, there is nothing but suffering. So Yeah, so because when Buddha has enlightened, when Buddha enlightened after such a retreat and doing a meditation for the 6 years, then when he enlightened, then the first teaching that he have given to his 5 disciples about this Four Noble Truths, yeah, it's a very commonly for the all vehicle, all this Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, all accept this Four Noble Truths. Now, when he gave the Four Noble Truth teaching, then he said at the very beginning, Dhongtsang Shabsdrung, it's the suffering, it has to be diagnosed, it has to be identified and recognize it. Yeah? Suffering is not to be abandoned because you cannot abandon the suffering. Yeah? Because because suffering is the result. Because when Buddha has taught the Four Noble Truths, the suffering is the result. That you cannot how to say, abandon the result, because only if you discard, if you eliminate the cause of suffering, then only result will abandon itself. Yeah, because no need to abandon the result. He's saying you have to comprehend and identify that suffering. So due to that, if we if we identify all this samsaric world is suffering, then you seek that free from this suffering. Yeah, once you seek free from it, then you will look for the how you can free from it. What is the cause that which is creating all this suffering, which is producing it. Yeah? Okay. So due to that, at the very beginning, so suffering, it has to be comprehend and identify it. Similar, in here, it has mentioned giving example like a sickness. In order to get treatment, one must diagnose the sickness, yeah, and that disease. Yeah, like whatever disease you have, if you diagnose it, then only then you can have a treatment. Yeah, without having without diagnosing this disease, then if you eat randomly any kind of the medicine, then instead of helping, then I think it might be even harmful, for it might be create another problem as well. In here, it has said from highest heavenly realm to the lowest hell realm, there is nothing but suffering. It has said that, yeah. But it doesn't mean there is no worldly happiness. It is not saying that there is a worldly happiness, but worldly happiness itself, it is not free from suffering. Yeah. Because whatever that worldly happiness that we seek nowadays, for the normal mundane people like us, all those happiness that we seek, it is always comes together with the suffering, isn't it? That is not, there is no a single happiness which is not together with the suffering so when it comes to the worldly happiness. Due to that, it is saying that even that worldly happiness itself is not other than a suffering also. Itself is the cause of suffering. Yeah. Due to that, it is saying like from the heaven realm to the lowest that hell realm, there is nothing but only suffering. So it is not like not to because whenever that we are talking about the suffering, it is not like a pleasant to hear. Like because we want to because like nowadays, because when we go for the teaching, when we go for the practice, somehow like people they seek some kind of like when we meditate, some kind of sensual pleasure, like some kind of like releasing something like a tension, or all those kind of the like short and that those worldly happiness that we seek. Yeah. But in here, so if you identify all this suffering, the nature of the world, so it is really like how to say, it is really producing renunciation. How how all these worldly things are not really worthy, and then what the way of your expectation, will become less reduced. Then you will become like more like how to say, mature. You will become more mature to accept any kind of the situation, because like most of the time we are not mature enough. Yeah, because we expect so much like unrealistic things. Yeah. So we always expect some kind of the magical things, like out of the course. We expect so many things like out of course, so which is not logical. For the Buddhism, so we have, so it is teaching we have to be more logical, which is based on law of cause and effect. Law of cause and effect. Then like once you understand all those like nature of samsara, then law of cause and effect, so it will mature ourselves. So then the way of your thinking is becoming more realistic and logical. Otherwise, like we always expect so many unrealistic things. Yeah? So that is why. So it is when when all those like emotional thing, yeah, emotional. All the emotionals are like based on non-logical. So but like we love it, yeah, isn't it? Because if we say like that we have, so like we don't have to be emotional, then like we find like then it's like very like dry. So like we might think like it's like without having emotion in life, so then life will become so dry and so boring and meaningless. Yeah. But in here, so like because like not understanding the reality and not accepting the reality, then you find then all those kind of the expectation within yourself. Due to that, so it is not to make you sad, because when we are talking about all this suffering and all those things, so it is like maturing ourselves to know the reality, to be more logical, to see the reality. what it is.
Okay. Any question from the floor or any thought before?
Rinpoche, can you please, good evening, Rinpoche. Rinpoche, would you be able to give us some example? For example, what you mentioned about the problem lies from us not accepting the reality or expecting something too much.
Okay. Like for example, no, Buddha has said Buddha has said all those root of all the suffering, root of all the emotion is a self-clinging, isn't it? Self-clinging. So then once you believe there is a self, then problem is already started, isn't it? Once you believe there is a self, so then you already started the distinguishing other. Self, then other, then already started all the problem. Based for all the problem is that. Yeah? Then you then I want this, I want that, and he is doing that, she is doing this. Then all the problem, it is based on self. But the funny thing is that we all believe there is a self, but we never investigate where it is. That is the problem. Because we don't really know where it is. But still we are believing it, yeah? So if you tell anybody where is self, nobody instead those who is following non-Buddhist school, they have they accept the self and they have a describe how to say description for the self as a great this and that. Other than that, other than religion, non-Buddhist religion, then a normal mundane people, if you ask them where is self, so they cannot identify where is self. But if you tell them, everybody believe there is self. They believe self, but they don't know where it is, how it is. So this is the problem, yeah? Because this is the based on blind belief. Blindly believing, yeah. So we are believing when we are believing self, it's blindly believing. So we don't know how it is, where it is. So you just simply believe that he is. Because most of the time, nowadays, modern those those people who don't believe the religion, but they all believe self. They all believe on self. They all have a self-clinging, but they never say they think they are a very logical, but that religions are a blind faith, very old-fashioned. But if you tell them, because if they are also similar like that. They are believing self, but they don't investigate where it is, so how it is. So which is most precious for every one of us, yeah? Because when we are talking about self, it's because we distinct, we, how to say, we measure everything about importance, then good or bad. So if you check carefully, if you think carefully, you measure based on yourself, the idea of yourself. Like for example, when we are measuring good or bad, so oh, he's doing good to me. He's being nice to me. He's a good man. So he's doing this and that to me. So he's the bad man. So everything we make judgment, and then we perform based on idea of self, but we never investigate. We don't think how it is, where it is. That is a most ignorant part that we all have it. So this is what Buddha is saying, root of all the suffering, cause of all the suffering is a self-clinging. That ignorant. Ignorant is the root of all the suffering.
Rinpoche, I have a question.
Yes.
Rinpoche, it's about renunciation. Most of us are the lay people, lay community. How we practice renunciation in our daily life, because we are attached to the families and everything, no? So how this renunciation, we can practice in our daily life?
Yeah, that is that is why I said earlier, when we are talking about renunciation, different vehicle, they explain differently. They use the different method. Like for example, now I think I will give one since that you are asking about the lay practitioner, because the King Indra Bodhi, that one of the greatest Vajrayana practitioner, so King Indra Bodhi, then when he invited Buddha, and then offer lunch, and after that, Buddha has asked, what kind of the teaching you would seek. Then he asked Buddha, I don't want to leave my family. I don't want to leave my palace and all this kingdom. I don't want to leave. But I want to practice and I want to enlighten. I want to become enlightened. So can you just give me a teaching that according to the what I am, what I seek. I don't want to live without leaving all this family, kingdom, and palace, and can get enlightened. Then Buddha has given Vajrayana teaching. Yeah, that I think Samandupa, I think Guya Samaja. Yeah, Guya Samaja is the tantric teaching has given to that King Indra Bodhi by Buddha when he asked that it's that kind of the teaching without leaving all this mundane worldly life. So in here, the point is that because when he said not leaving, then when it comes to the free from free from samsara, it's mentally you cannot attach. Yeah. So this is the point. Yeah. Mentally you cannot attach towards all this kind of the all this worldly thing, but physically, so you don't have to live all this worldly life. Okay, so that is the difference.
So Rinpoche, if in a family we have a parents and the children like that, so we love them. So that love is already like an attachment. How we practice to love without putting attachment?
Yeah, that is always like true, like very true, like because the love and attachment is like a very similar attitude. So due to that, we always think like how can it is possible to love, but like without like having attachment. To love means like if you seek like what is the best for them, if you think like how can I help, so what is the good for that person, that is like a caring love, isn't it? Like once, like if you like if you, how to say, like if you connected with the self, he is my mother, he is my no, she is my mother, she is my like wife, or she is my daughter, then that is like becoming like little impure. That love became impure because you tie up, like you bind that person with yourself. Then you have an expectation. She is my wife, she is my daughter, she has to do this and that, and all this kind of expectation will arise. So due to that, I'm saying like thinking for like what is good for her, what is good for him. So what is the what will benefit that person? It's a love, purely love, without having expectation in return anything. So that is why usually like we are saying like mother love is for the children is unconditional. Yeah. So because there is no condition. If he does this, I will love it. If he will not do this, yeah, I will not like it. So there's not really like that kind of condition, from mother to the children. For others, love, so there is always some condition, yeah, isn't it? So if he treats me that way, then I will treat him this way. And if that person is doing this, then I will do this. If I do this, then he should be doing that. This kind of expectation and condition. So I think so that is why it's like slightly different between the love and attachment. Because when it comes to the love, like compassion, loving and compassion, all the Buddha has the greatest. Buddha has the greatest love and compassion. They have even more like a greater love and compassion than us, because their love and compassion is like unconditional, isn't it? There is, I think, like slightly different. Attachment is mainly then like it's more like you are controlling. So in your mind, like you are like you are, how to say that, ownership kind of. He or she is mine, kind of, yeah. So it's kind of like that kind of the attitude I find. So due to that, for the love, it's not that, It's purely like unconditional. And of course, for the normal mundane people like us, so it is difficult. Love without condition and without expectation, all these are difficult. But if we try, of course, it is possible. So that is what I always tell people, like if we try, it is possible. So all those like enlightenment is also, if we try, it is possible. And then love without condition and expectation, if we practice, if we try, it is possible. For us, it is difficult. Okay.
Thank you,
Rinpoche.
Rinpoche.
Yeah. Can we say that if we practice equality will help us from the attachment?
Yeah, surely. Yeah, equality, if we practice equality, it is like it will help to the detach. But like, so it is not really possible, really equality, once we have this like concept of this self and other. Because once we have this concept and thinking of self and other, so it is not really possible to like to really equal, isn't it? It's already unequal. Once you have a self and other thinking, it is already unequal. But of course, like for the our level, so we can try, as I said earlier, so we can try to be equal. So that is why I think so in our world, yeah, always there's a debate and argument between the like equality, like so it's like always they will be like how to say like accusation for the woman right and animal right. Now I think the man right. So all this kind of the concept will arise, yeah, because it is not really possible. Like once you have this kind of self thinking of the self, believing on a self, it is not really possible actual equal. So, but still we try our best to be equal in our like normal life also. So we try our best to be like equal with the woman and man, and then then like how to say like all those kind of the concept, yeah, religion, and then like all those caste. So we all always trying. So when we are talking about equality, so we all like this concept equality very much, and we all try, but it is not really possible the actual equality. But we try. It's like kind of like how to say that wage, that when we are measuring that, what is called that tools for the measuring the
Scale?
which, huh?
The scale?
Scale, yeah, scale. So it is always like once. So when we put more weight on this, so it will go up. When we put more weight here, so it will go up. So it is always like we are measuring like that, yeah.
Okay. Thank
Since
you.
like yeah, since we have this self-clinging and self and other concept of self and other, so it is always like one. Sometimes we put more weight right, sometimes we put more on left, so it is keep like going up and down.
Okay. Thank you, Rinpoche.
That's what I think, yeah? So but I'm not saying like so what I'm saying is true, but like this is all like what I think. Okay.
Okay. So how do we practice no self? Because we have a name, right? And we have a form, and then we interact with people, too many activities. So how in that context, how do we practice that there is no self?
So you actually like, I would say like a simple way is like, so we don't have to practice no self. We just search for the self. Then it is the easiest way. You just search like where is the self. Then it is like a easiest way. So because like when if I tell you that we should practice no self, then like it is like against with what you believe, yeah. Like because we have so much strong tendency there is self, yeah. So it's like so we many of us like we don't feel maybe uncomfortable because we don't feel we don't feel comfortable if we tell like that we should practice selflessness, no self. Instead of that, just ask them to search self where it is self. So they will not find. Yeah? There's no place that where the self is exist. Buddha has like a search for very long time, so he couldn't find it. Like he couldn't find the self. Where is self? Yeah. Then like finally he declared there is no self. Yeah. Because like before Buddha was also like practicing those like Hindus, not all those like non-Buddhist religion also, because he did practice that also. Yeah. Then like later on, then he's not satisfied with all this idea and all this like practice. Then he like search his own path. So it is same for every one of us. Yeah. So we can search because self is so important for every one of us. Just simply search where it is.
Rinpoche, concerning renunciation, can we, I mean, we are so grasping on our reference point, meaning that our family, father, mother, loved one. So can we think like that? If we were to renounce this world, then this is the last time or last life that we will be together.
Okay. Yeah, so that is also the one way that you can practice the renunciation also, because that is the impermanence, yeah. Because like each and every single moment, if you live like this is the last moment, then you becoming more fearless. Then you don't care about like what people will say, yeah, what people will think. So you only care about what is the right. So what is the what is the actual more meaningful and what is the right thing to do? Because like nowadays, like because that is why like practicing impermanent will help to become a really good practitioner if you keep practicing impermanent, yeah. Because otherwise like we all when we do practice we all prepare like as if that we are going to live like 1,000 years old. So we will prepare so many things. We will plan each and every like next month, next year. Then then you will invest after 20 years, for the aiming for the after 20 years, after maybe for your like children when they grow up. So all those kind of investment and everything that we plan, yeah. So if you practice impermanent, then it's more like each and every single moment is your last moment to live. If you practice that way, so it will becoming more and more fearless, and you can do like things what you really believe and what you really find it is like logical, it is really worthy. Otherwise, like because we always like when we planning for the living 20 year, 30 year, then we always care about what people will say, what people will think. like what will happen after 10 years, 20 years. So I think, so it will like discouraging. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we will go to the text now. Last part. Hello.
He's not in the group.
Oh, okay. I think like okay.
Something.
I think something went, maybe internet.
Oh, he's in back.
Yeah. Okay. So anyhow, so now, since that we are talking about this, like impure vision. So
Hello. Yes. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Is everybody okay? Renounce. So sorry, my line drops.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so then I think it's like in the text, so it has mentioned that suffering is it is like important to know it. So like even though if it is like unpleasant, like unpleasant to hear, so usually it's the same thing only, yeah? Because with the problem, if you like understand, if you understand the problem in your life, then you will become more and more mature, isn't it? You will become more and more mature. Then, like with that, so so you will be like more like encouraged to face any kind of situation, and then also you will prepare for like all those kind of situation, isn't it? Then for the like for the renunciation, because without seeing all this worldly existence as a suffering, then it is not possible to produce it, isn't it? Because like without seeing like if you see like all this like worldly life is so enjoyable, so happy, then of course you don't want to free from it. Yeah. Instead of that, so you want to stick, like you want to stick with the you want to stay, because like people, sometime when we're talking about the quality of enlightenment and all those new beginner, when we're talking about quality of enlightenment, then some people, they are saying, I'm not sure like enlightenment is that much enjoyable. Some people are saying that. Yeah, that is true, because like for those people, like those, not those, like even for us, it's also like all those kind of the level of enjoyment, level of happiness, it's beyond our concept. Yeah. So what we understand happiness is like a very very within the worldly circle only, yeah. So due to that, so it is saying that like to having confidence, having interest towards the enlightenment, so we need merit also. like without having a merit and tendency, so we are not able to show interest on enlightenment and having confidence towards the enlightenment. So due to that, so sometimes like when we talk about all those like quality of Buddha and Pure Land and all those, so there is some people and also not some people, many people, they have thought that really like enlightenment is really what I want or not. So they are like having doubt, so, which is also possible. Due to that, so it is very important to know whatever that we are enjoying, we think happiness, it is not really happiness. Unless that if we cannot identify it, we don't seek for enlightenment. So that is why so it is important to tell and teach that whole this like samsara is like nature of samsara on a relative level is suffering and cause of suffering. Okay.
Okay, I think today is very good. Thank you, Rinpoche. Yeah.
Okay, so then we will, if any question or otherwise, then we will stop.
Okay.
Okay, then we will do dedication prayer. Sanam de tamje zigwa nye topne nyebe danam pamje ne jiga na je balaban chuboy siben solen do show. Okay. Thank you everybody and have a good evening and good night.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Good night, everyone.
Like,